Hey YouTube, it's me again, Sandy. I know you were all expecting me to be singing, but in addition to singing on YouTube, I also speak for the LGBT spectrum. Well, mainly, I speak for the lesbian community, because that's what I am. I speak for my own kind. Today, we're going to be talking about lesbian stereotyping. So, let's get to it. Okay, getting to the first stereotype. I call it past relationships. People tend to think that lesbian is supposed to mean you've never dated a guy and have only been with girls. Yeah, I've gone through that. Like this girl on the bus one time. I was telling this other girl that I was a lesbian, and then she was like, "Oh, but I thought you were bi." And I'm like, no. And she's like, "But you had a boyfriend." And I'm just looking at her like, okay, so your point? I'm like, dude, that was a few years ago, which now it was 4 years ago or 5, something. But it honestly doesn't work that way. Almost every lesbian I know has had a past relationship with a boy. I dated 2. Not at the same time. Don't worry, I'm not a player. But no, 2 guys separately. And thing is, yeah, I can't change the fact that I dated guys. It's gonna be there forever. I can't take it back. But does it mean that I can't be a lesbian? I mean, come on, lesbian is just a word. And the definition for it does not include your past relationships. I mean, when people are defining that word, when they're talking about lesbians, they define the word lesbian. I've heard people say, "Oh, lesbian means when a girl dates a girl." Well, that's part of it. That's what they do. But that's not the definition. It means you're attracted to girls. Some people ask me, "Oh, if you're a lesbian, how come you dated a guy in the past?" Well, I could name some logical explanations why a lesbian, including me, would have a past opposite sex relationship. In my case, number 1, I was questioning. I didn't know what the hell I was. So I'm supposed to know off the top of my head? Well, I mean, I was having a hard time figuring it out. I didn't know what I wanted. Hello, I was young. I was 15. Number 2, also in my case, I was in denial. I wanted to live the straight life. I didn't even want to be questioning. I was questioning, oh, I know what I am. I'm straight. With other lesbians, not me, but other gay girls will date guys because they are closeted, to the world, want people to think that they're straight because they're not ready to come out. So, yeah. Again, lesbian means you feel attracted to women and you're a woman and not attracted to men. It's how you feel, not what you do. Okay? Stereotype number 2, which is what I would really love to call a number 2. Because this stereotype totally stinks. The worst stereotype in my book. I call it giving up on men. So just a couple weeks ago, I was hanging out with some guy that was texting my girlfriend. And he's like, "Oh, you're texting your man?" And I'm like, "No, it's my girlfriend." And, we were talking about her. And then he's like, "Oh, what made you decide to give up on men?" I'm like, excuse me? Give up on men? To tell you the truth, if it was a choice, I never would have chosen to be gay in the first place. Because of all this stereotyping I'm going through? Come on, you think I want to go through that crap? But more reasons to convince you that that is not true. When I was a senior, I was telling this girl that I was a lesbian on the bus. We were talking about it, and so at the end she's like, "Oh, were you hurt?" And other people have asked me the same thing. "Oh, were you rejected? You were hurt. Oh, sympathy." Well, I gotta tell you, yes, both of those boys I went out with, they were assholes. I'll give you that. They were assholes. They did hurt me. But I didn't just go, men are such jerks, I'm just gonna be a lesbian. Absolutely not. There's a thing called coincidence. It just happened. I mean, especially, why didn't I decide to be a lesbian the first breakup? And here's the thing about me. If I was totally, truly straight and got my heart broken by men, I would absolutely, positively play on until I find the right guy. That's what I would do, honestly. That I wouldn't give up on men and go lesbian. I would just keep trying until I find the right guy. But I didn't do that because I don't feel like I am cut out for them. It's not because of how they treated me, but here's the reason why I considered this stereotype number 2. You know, that kind of number 2. It's not just a stereotype for lesbians. It's gender stereotyping. Like, don't you think? I mean, who's to say that all men are assholes and all women are, oh, so sweet. They'll treat you way better. I gotta tell you, I know lots of people who are opposites of the stereotype. I know somebody. She's a friend of my aunt's. She's a lesbian. Long ago, she was living with this woman for a long time, and I'm not sure if she cheated on her or if she just left her for another girl. But all I know is she's a woman and she hurt her. And getting into straight relationships, my aunt's husband, before he was married to my aunt, he had another girlfriend, and she treated him like, I can't come up with a good word. But my aunt told me all about her, how she was so high maintenance and also bitchy, you can say. All I can say, she treated him like dump. Oh yeah, my aunt's husband is a sweetheart. I love him. Like, he's an awesome uncle to me, and he accepts my aunt for who she is, even though she's different. There's not a thing he would change about her. Like, he loves her no matter what. And he doesn't treat her like crap at all. I mean, yeah. Of course, they have had little spats. It happens in every relationship. There is no such thing as a perfect relationship, no matter if it's same-sex or opposite sex or transsexual. They have ups and downs, but it doesn't tear them apart. They're not falling apart. He's an awesome person, and he's a guy. Her husband's ex-girlfriend was a total, and she's a girl. Your stereotypes are weak. Most of my aunts have had crappy boyfriends before their husbands that they have now. Of course, did they give up on men? Did they decide to go lesbian? Absolutely not. No, if they did that, they wouldn't have their husbands. All of my aunts are married. Does that convince you enough? I'm sorry. As much as this stereotype pisses me off, it also cracks me up of how stupid you people are.